Bringing a new hire into a company and expecting immediate productivity ignores the operational friction inherent in any complex organization. Transforming an outsider into a functioning corporate asset requires an engineered, structural intervention. When a multinational corporation absorbs thousands of diverse individuals every year, relying on organic assimilation guarantees operational chaos. They need systems that process human capital at industrial scale. We can observe the theory behind this engineering in Gary Dessler's Human Resource Management textbook. This text provides our academic control group the theoretical framework for how corporate socialization is supposed to work, and we can see that theory applied in this real-world artifact, the internal induction materials from Xerox Egypt. At the time this handbook was used, Xerox maintained a global workforce of 140,000 employees. Coordinating a labor force the size of a small city demands exact, repeatable processes. By mapping the theoretical principles from Dessler's text directly onto the internal Xerox induction deck, we can view the invisible architecture of corporate socialization. The textbook divides orientation into 4 specific operational purposes. The first 2 are the welcome and the delivery of basic information. The welcome is a targeted psychological mechanism. Its objective is to reduce the anxiety of day one and establish an immediate positive alignment between the new hire and corporate leadership. Xerox's induction schedule mandates a dedicated window from 10 to 11 a.m., specifically to execute the welcome and introduce the employee to higher-level executives. Once the welcome is complete, the process shifts to basic information. These are the immediate administrative boundaries an employee needs simply to exist within the corporate environment. This includes baseline behavioral compliance. The Xerox artifact specifies physical appearance standards, outlining exact rules for appropriate business attire and acceptable footwear. It also codifies logistical protocols. By explicitly detailing the vacations and exit policies on day one, the company manages the employee's legal expectations. These first 2 pillars function sequentially. They install the basic administrative operating system before the employee executes a single task. The third theoretical pillar is understanding the organization. A worker cannot operate efficiently in a vacuum. Without a high-level view of the company's structure, standard tasks create operational friction as the employee struggles to route information or requests. The Xerox deck provides this mental map by outlining the regional leadership hierarchy. It maps out the general manager, flanked by specific directors overseeing finance, human resources, and customer services. This visual hierarchy gives the new hire a fixed coordinate system. They can identify exactly where their department sits within the broader corporate machine. Structural orientation ensures that every individual recognizes the established chain of command and understands the directional flow of internal authority. The final pillar of the orientation framework is socialization. Socialization engineers the employee's internal values. The objective is to align individual behavior with the corporation's strategic identity and its risk profile. Xerox initiates this cultural alignment by anchoring the new hire to the company founder, Chester Carlson, and his invention of the early xerographic device. The induction materials explicitly frame the founder's vision of making office work simpler and more productive as the company's internal DNA. This ties a century of historical precedent directly to the employee's daily output. Modern leadership is deployed to maintain these values. The handbook highlights then-CEO Ursula Burns to reinforce the company's status as an ethical corporate citizen. Corporate socialization extends past inspirational heritage. It serves as a strict mechanism for behavioral risk management. The handbook transitions directly from cultural DNA into concrete behavioral guardrails. It explicitly outlines the Code of Business Ethics, heavily emphasizing prohibitions against bribery, corruption, and conflicts of interest. Firmly, socialization is citizenship engineering. It is designed to ensure that the employee automatically protects the company's liability and financial interests. Day one orientation establishes the baseline. The process then shifts into the active development of job-specific competencies through formal training. The governing architecture for corporate training is the ADDIE process. It consists of 5 consecutive phases: analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate. In the design phase, the text dictates that learning must be meaningful. This requires providing a bird's-eye view of the material and using familiar terms to ensure the trainee can contextualize new data. The implementation phase is where theoretical design is forced into physical practice. The training is administered, and the employee must alter their work behavior. Implementation heavily relies on on-the-job training. Managers use direct coaching, job rotation, and special assignments to build competency while working. This is paired with off-the-job techniques. Employees analyze case studies or participate in computerized games in controlled environments, removed from daily pressures. The final step is evaluation. Management must measure the outcome to verify that the capital invested in the training process resulted in quantifiable performance gains. If orientation sets the cultural and administrative stage, the ADDIE process installs the technical software the employee needs to actually execute their job. These two phases merge to form a complete timeline of human capital engineering. It begins at day 1 orientation, moves systematically through the ADDIE cycle, and ends at productive competency. Orientation installs the operating system. Training delivers the specialized software applications. Viewed through this academic lens, the Xerox induction deck reveals its function as a calibrated instrument of organizational psychology. Each policy slide and historical anecdote acts as a specific lever to align individual behavior with corporate strategy. Relying on these exact, repeatable frameworks allows an organization to multiply its workforce predictably, ensuring standard outputs regardless of individual employee variables. Ultimately, professional onboarding processes bridge the critical gap between raw, untested potential and highly reliable, consistent corporate excellence. By treating human assimilation as a rigorously engineered process, management guarantees the long-term viability and performance of its workforce.